Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Parish Council meeting. Hey?
Did you say good evening, Chairman?
Good evening. Very nice, huh? Thank you. Now, can we open straight away, please, with a public forum?
Two things. One, can you consider for a future agenda item looking at public participation and reverting to the 2 sessions before and after that used to happen, even if it needs a change of your standing orders. Sometimes something crops up in a meeting which a member of the public has information or comment on, that if there was public participation at the end, they would be able to comment on rather than wait for the next meeting, which might be of help to the parish councillors. So I would like to consider considering that as an agenda item, please.
Well, you can't quite rightly say, Mr. Hill, we would have to change standing orders to allow that to happen. There's only one period of public participation mentioned in standing orders. So until the standing orders are changed, it remains at one period of public participation. Sorry about that. But even so, if you'd like to put that request in writing to the clerk, it can be properly discussed.
Well, surely making it as a verbal request in a public meeting is adequate request.
I wouldn't have thought so. It'd be better put in writing. Thank you. Next one. Next one.
Yeah, go on. You want something to say about that?
I understand you'll be considering a planning application which I've submitted in relation to 77 4th Street. The revised application is based upon changes to layout to accommodate a better layout for my family. Also, following me instructing an engineer, some of the designs have changed to accommodate structural requirements. I'm hoping that you can look favourably on my application in the fact that it's a local family, although I was born in Hereford, so I can't be necessarily called local to Polruan. My wife is returning to a childhood home, and I'd like you to take that into consideration when looking at our planning application this evening.
Okay, that subject does come up later under the planning heading.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it then. Right, anything else?
Second point, quite often during agenda items, there's reference to items, reports, whatever, that have been circulated to the councillors, and you then discuss it. And because the councillors have got it in front of them, not a lot of information comes over to the public. So when that happens, perhaps some information can be given verbally to the councillors, including when, when you come to sign cheques, that instead of just referring to the list in front of you, details on the cheques being signed can be stated, please.
Never was before. Well, it could be, but we'll go by standing order procedure here.
Well, that's okay. The cheques are listed on the minutes when they're published at the end anyway.
Well, they are listed on the minutes.
Yes, but they're not listed in the minutes don't come out for several weeks. It's
not several weeks, is it? It's usually 2 to 3 weeks before the minutes come out.
well, 2 to 3 weeks is several weeks, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, it's merely a request because so often now things are referred to as a report or whatever it is circulated, and the councillors discuss it, and there's members of the public sitting here who have an interest, obviously, because they're at the meeting, don't really gather what's being discussed.
Okay, well, that can be accommodated. We'll discuss that in council later.
Thank you.
Anything else? No. In that case, David Evans won't be here tonight, unfortunately. Can we call on County Councillor Edwina?
Okay, thank you, Chairman, councillors. You've heard me talk about the council budget and the council pressures, the pressures that the council are under, probably every single report. But as we get closer and closer to adoption of the recommendations, how we are going to save that £196 million, over the next 4 years. I think the detail of how that will affect communities and the council are starting to become a bit more real. An example is currently it costs Cornwall Council £100,000 on postage to send out copies of planning applications to town and parish councils. That is down as a saving. So this will have an implication for a parish council where you can either pay to have a hard copy or it will be just sent to you electronically. I'm not quite sure how you do yours, but certainly in Lanteglos they don't use hard copies anyway. They do it all electronically, so it won't affect them, but it may do you. I urge you to comment on the proposed budget. You can do that online, and I've got links in the report which I'll send to the clerk to circulate round to you. And there is a special community network area meeting of the Liscard Loo network on the 23rd of October at the Echo Centre in Liscard at 7 p.m. if you want to go and smile. You're on candid camera. If you want to go and comment. That's not my best side, Keith, all right? So really, there is scope to change it and to make suggestions of where you would prefer a saving not to be made, but there would have to be suggestions about where else that could be saved. At the moment, we're about £6 million adrift over the next 4 years, and that just increased today because the government announced that they're not going to give Cornwall Council £6 million of it's called a Better Care Fund. It's a fund that's set up to help us care for people in their homes. So overnight, we're now £12 million adrift. So just to sort of flag up to you, you will see differences. 30% proposed cut of the environment budget, so that is grass cutting, general environmental maintenance. Okay, I won't give you all the details, but I wanted you to see, and you'll see in my report, how to apply to start school or transfer to junior and secondary schools. I think there are some key deadlines there for starting infants or primary school or transfers, and as you're out and about on your travels, then if you're armed with that information, you can remind people that the deadline for children born between 2010 and 2011 to get a place for 2015 in their chosen school, the deadline is the 15th of January. So it's quite short lead times on that. Just another reminder that the repair renewal grants are still available. It's not it's an open-ended fund, so there's no limit to the number of claims about making your property more resilient from storms. Just to give you a bit of an update, there have been 2 applications from Polruan, 10 from Polperro and 9 from Lou, and a total of over £100,000 has already been given out. 2 local issues. One is street lighting, which Councillor asked me to investigate why some lighting on private roads Cornwall Council are maintaining while some on other private roads are not. And the answer is as follows. The asset register shows the lights in question have been on our electronic register for some time. The lights were adopted by the old county council as part of the local government reorganisation that took place in 1974, where many town and parish councils passported streetlights across to the then newly created Highways Authority. During that migration, there have been a number of anomalies, such as the one on Battery Park and others, where lights were actually given over when they shouldn't have been because they were on private roads. The simple explanation is why these lights have been converted and others not is because they were on the list. Strictly speaking, they should not be maintained by the council. But now that this particular officer, who's Glyn Williams, knows the circumstances, he's faced with 2 options. offer the lights to the property owners of the road in question, and they will have to pay for their operation and maintenance. And if residents do not agree, simply remove the lights and reuse on the network in other towns. The current financial pressures the council is under, the needs to reduce the council's electricity and maintenance budgets. He is currently reviewing areas where we can decommission lighting, and he's adding these to the list. Sometimes it's best not to poke the bear. Hall Terrace in Badinnick, we had a residents' meeting there with a couple of councillors came. Again, nothing is ever straightforward. There has been plans drawn up, and there's 3 options. Just marking out the spaces, leaving as is, mark out the spaces and resurface, mark out the spaces, resurface and bollard either end to stop people that don't have a right to park their parking there. However, on part of the due diligence, checking the deeds on the homes that were bought under the right to buy scheme, because I think there's only 2 council, might be wrong, but I think there's only 2 council homes there, still tenanted. There seems that each of those tenants purchasers had a clause that compels the owners to contribute to the upkeep of the road, which may put a different complexion on who pays, and therefore which scheme is recommended to go forward. I'm waiting for the detailed costings of that, but when I have the costings, I will run it past you and the residents, and that may put a different complexion on whether they feel they want to support the scheme that they were when we visited.
You suggest a residents' meeting.
I was asked only a couple of days ago about it because they hadn't heard anything, and I said, well, it takes a little bit of time.
Well, the scheme was drawn up as quickly as the guy said, Cormac, within the week, and it was, but what has taken the time is going through all the deeds and all the houses that were bought under the right to buy, and they've listed each. Obviously I can't share all of that with you, but they've been listed, and there is a common clause that says that they are responsible for the road.
Because the other thing is, well, I've heard that there's more than one people actually applying. People that own the house are all going to apply to have to try to put in, I believe.
Well, I think once we've got all the facts to hand, Chairman, then I think you're quite right. We need to lay all the facts on the table so they can see what their proportion of the cost, if, and I'm not saying this is the cost, if it costs 100,000 and there are 10 homes, that's, I'm not saying it's going to cost that much, but there are a range of options so they can choose which one they prefer to go to. So it's never as straightforward as you might think.
Are you actually going to write to the residents? How are they going to know?
I'm going to, I think I'll probably do it myself. I'll just leaflet drop them, set up and say I'm setting up a meeting so they can discuss the facts, but have the background information on a fact sheet beforehand. I mean, it'll only take 5 minutes to walk down through there and do them, so I'm happy to do that myself. Or perhaps you can help. You can help, yeah, but it's not an onerous job, is it?
No. Okay, thank you very much.
And on some general purpose is going to be members to consider the recommendations of the F&GP. The first point is parish benches, the programme of replacement and maintenance.
Are we going to wait until the full council comes back, because this was what we spoke about in the meeting previous to this one, that we were going to make sure that everyone was present and or a bigger committee was present, and make sure that we were in full agreement of how much we could spend and what benches we could actually replace.
Okay, everybody agree with that?
I was going to say, has the list of benches and places where they are and the current state been finalised? Because it hadn't at the last.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a copy here. Pictures which Clark's got and we've got, which can certainly.
So that's what
all the seats.
is there an electronic copy of it, or is it
It's too big for your email.
too big for
Do you want a copy?
It's a big file.
That's fine, I need to see it right now. That's right, as long as that was updated.
Yeah, we've got that today, and it's 4 that need badly replacing, I think, rather than 3.
next item is, sorry, we got that. I'll ask for the proposal on that one. We propose we defer the decision to
Well, that's what I would propose.
Yeah,
wait till the second day.
Full committee.
I'll second it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Job evaluation, advertising for vacancy, pay structure and hours for the parish clerk. Now, job evaluation, I think, has been done. The evaluation is Ian's done a splendid job, and we're sorry to see him go. But we have to advertise the vacancy. We have to advertise the vacancy in due course. It's done. But now, any response so far?
There's three people who've contacted Pat. At the moment that's three, and that's from the College Guardian, and it will be in the parish newsletter as well, whenever that comes out. I thought it'd be out by now, but obviously not.
Now that's the vacancy, the structure and hours for the clerk, I think we're talking about 52 hours now.
Yeah, which was agreed in that was the recommendation from the FGP.
Yeah, the FGP. That's fine. Right, can I have a vote on that?
Yeah, I'm proposing we accept it.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Show of hands.
Right, now, next item is list of documents and policies.
Same thing. That's what we got. There's nothing else to it.
There's no additions or subtractions, is there?
No, so I propose we accept it as a council.
Okay, second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Right, okay, Karen?
One of the things, I did email you the code of conduct this evening, and I looked at that.
All right.
I don't know if you picked it up yet.
No,
I had the
I'm not
electronic-
around to look at it, so I will.
I have forwarded the electric electronic
I'll get it. And just to confirm that you're happy with the ones that I will put on the web. Yep. All right.
Right, snow and ice plan.
And that may have to be diverted like benches because it's
Yeah,
going to
well,
involve money.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I propose that we perhaps do.
I'll defer that to the next meeting.
Yeah.
You have to vote on that.
Confirm, Mr. Furley.
I'll propose it, some second. Second it.
Okay,
Yeah.
financial matters. Accounts for payment.
It's me.
Have we got a copy?
Income, we've had the precept received, £20,497, and a further £25 from Borough and Cottages or for the website advertising. I think on our budget we're still £175 short of that, aren't we? I think the total was 250, so there's still some more work to be done there. On the payments, we've got a further grant for upkeep of the churchyard. There's the external audit. We've got my salary for August, September, and the additional hours worked since beginning the contract. I've also got expenses, two lots of expenses which are actually quite high, mainly because I've got the planning training which we've got 5 members going to, and I had to prepay that. Sorry?
I'll see you tomorrow.
And then there's the advertising for the clerk's role in Cornish Guardian is 100 and, I think the total with VAT is £148, so quite high. We've got September cleaning for Fran, 560 as agreed. We've got 2 lots of South West Water. One is of particular interest is St Saviour's, where we had a very large bill in April of £1,400, and we discovered there was a leak, which was fixed, and I tried to get a leak allowance from the council, from South West Water, and we were told we couldn't have that, and by the time I'd taken a reading, the leak was worse than we anticipated, and there was another £1,900 to pay on water. which had happened before the leak was discovered over the winter period. Fortunately, I have got most of that back from South West Water. They agreed, after writing a couple of letters, that they would pay us some leak allowance, and this £146 is puts us up straight for August. So we're actually still high and still unfortunate, but it's not as bad as it could have been. There's the D. Simpson, £106 is for the backbeat steps, which were broken and had a complaint through the website, and that was fixed. Then we've got the 2 payments for footpath maintenance.
Could I stop you there a second? Because on the back beach steps, I'm sure that was storm damage, wasn't it? When the bottoms got swept away in the February storms.
Yeah.
So, answering Councillor Hannaford, could we put in a claim for those back beach steps, please?
Chairman, that's all right if I answer that. The criteria are that the damage was sustained between December and March, that you have evidence, photographic, one of you councillors or myself seeing the damage is enough to say there was damage. The repair and renewal grant may well cover that. You've all had the forms. It's worth it. That's up to £5,000.
It's only. I thought that the grants were for making it so that it wouldn't happen in the future if there was a further flood.
No, I think it's called a repair and renewed. So it's mitigations against future flooding. So it could be a flood board or something. But I think it's also repairs as well.
Repair. I'll get on to that. Thanks, John.
Anything else? Anything more?
Is Andreas now the contractor for the footpaths, or does he just come in to do a bit of ad hoc work?
We're only doing ad hoc this year. There's no contract.
That's okay.
Okay.
And we only have about, I would say, a third of the paths have got to have their final trim this month, the winter. And then we've satisfied our requirements for the Cornwall Council grant, and we should only have spent the same amount as the grant this year, £1,200.
Good.
Okay, any more on that? No? Okay. Can we move on?
Agree.
Yeah, close the house. That's accepted, yeah. Can we accept that, yeah?
I'll propose.
I'll second it.
Show hands.
Budget monitor.
Yeah.
Do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Considering we've only just looked at the budget and agreed a change back in July, the last full meeting, there's not a huge amount of change. Obviously the expenses and payments which we've put through this time, but we're still we're not doing too badly, considering if we look at what I've just said about the footpaths, there's an £800 saving from the budgeted figure there. I've got an area that I'm not entirely happy with, which is electricity to the WCs. We don't seem to have received any bills recently, so I've chased that up, although it shouldn't be very much, and the budgeted figure should cover it, 220 a year. And there's obviously not some expenditure there. There's road salt, which is obviously we'll decide and look at next time. Parish seats obviously still not spent. I think the only other point is that we'll obviously get the White Cross Green invoice in October, which will bring us up straight, so that the expenditure is covered within the year that it's incurred. So that's why the cost of is quite high this year, because both payments, one for last year, one for this year, have gone through. We might get the 106 back from the back beach steps. Is there any questions on that?
No. You accept that?
Yes.
The proposal? Right. Second it? Vote? Yeah? Everyone agree? Good.
Thank you, Cam. Shall I do that as well? We've had a letter through from Barclays to say that the bank account, the new bank account is open. Obviously, it has a nil balance. And we have, there is a proposal here that I start to move the banking from Santander to Barclays, starting off with a cheque for 5,000 so that we can open or get the account going. And I have a chequebook and I have paying in books now, so we could transfer the banking. And that is a proposal that I'd like you to consider. And also that, to make it slightly easier, that direct debits are set up for payments for utilities. For, as listed here, and you've all had a copy of this, South West Water, for the toilets in St Saviour's and Frogmore, street lighting to EDF Energy, and EDF Energy for the toilets in St Saviour's and Frogmore as well. The reason I say that is that it would be, you're still going to approve the payments because they'll be listed, but quite often, like if I got an invoice tomorrow from South West Water, I can't pay it till the end of the month, which is usually by the time I get a red bill. So direct debits would be easier, and you still have to sanction them, and obviously the direct debit mandate is signed by the signatories to the account.
Okay, well, there's two parts to that question. Can we vote on accepting that direct debits are set up?
I propose we
I think it's a good idea.
Good idea.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I know, I'm a bit uneasy about it. I don't think it's the end of the world to change the billing date. For, you know, you can pretty much pick your billing date from any utility company, and then we can still pay. You know, we know it will come in the middle of the month if it comes quarterly.
Direct debit gets you cheaper, you get so many payments
Cheaper.
off.
And it is a bit
Plus
cheaper
it's
to
less
do it.
paperwork, it's less work for the clerk.
Yeah.
save stamps. I mean, most people do it these days, but that's up to you.
Well, it's
Well, can we take the vote on it? Vote in favour? Okay. Carrie?
So are we approving items 6C here?
No, wouldn't be.
A, B and C all in block?
Yes, I think so.
Just one question on bank account. That once the money's changed over, won't be any sort of delay, especially if you've got to pay Fran or whatever. It's instant, is it?
It is, yeah.
I would propose to pay the cheque in. I'll probably do that. I mean, I can put it on the list for next time.
Oh no, I think we should just get on with it. don't we?
Just get on with it.
You know, we
well,
can-
today's payments come out of Santander.
Yes. Yep.
Transfer £5,000 gets us going, and then everything else can just fall into place.
Yeah.
Without issues, hopefully.
And then we can,
That's the only thing that worries me, just in case there is, but
So by next meeting, we should have a fully set up working account with Santander closed.
Yeah, closed, yeah.
For whatever reason.
no, I would say leave Santander open, but with a nil balance.
With a nil balance, or with a penny in or something.
Yeah, good. Right.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll transfer 5,000, get it set up, and then next time, we know we're going to close it, I'll put the balancing amount as a payment on the list.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody agree with that? Yeah. The park demolition and rebuilding, including raise in ridge height and dormer window to accommodate loft rooms. And this is an amended proposal from PA 130156 previously approved. Now, I don't know, has everybody got a chance to look at these drawings? And
Not fully.
Not fully, because the last set was never got to us till Sunday morning.
no, well, basically what it is, the ridge height has increased yet again, substantially so.
What do you mean by substantial?
Sorry,
Do you know how much by?
about between 2 and 3 feet.
Right.
So what it means, running a scale on it, what do we think on that one?
I have no idea, because I haven't seen the latest one now. There's
There's another drawing out.
Is there another one come through?
Can we have a look at it?
Is the one. There was an original increase in the first one, I believe, but not in the second. If I read into the thing right. Thank
And
you.
this is the revision under
Yeah.
013.
There was increased roof height
03
in the second one, which was dated 1st of September.
Yeah.
Now this new drawing's come out the 22nd of September. Now, to me, that circumvents any planning committee meeting to sit and discuss it, because receiving a drawing on a Sunday morning, there's no
Meeting on
time for a
Monday.
planning committee or anybody to discuss it. I feel we've been bounced.
I tend to agree with you.
And I honestly think, under Eric Pickles' act of this fast planning, this is fast planning far too swift. The rapidity of it means a planning committee hasn't even got a hope in hell of seeing that drawing and even discussing it. And the chop date being the 9th of October, well, nobody can get round to it.
Ask for an extension.
Sorry?
You could ask for an extension.
What, to the next meeting, next parish council meeting?
Well, regardless of that, John, whatever the planning committee says, the full council still get the final say on it.
Well, as I say, defer to the next planning council meeting, so the planning committee can meet, look at the new application in full, and the end of the next month, there's another parish council meeting.
Yeah. Can we vote on deferring it then?
I don't see the point though, because we could still meet, have the planning committee meet and discuss it, and the full council can still say, vote the opposite to what the planning committee suggests. So I think we may as well
There's
get
nothing to
on.
mention any increase like you're talking
Well, we need time to study that anyway and get it in before the 16th, don't we?
In principle, I can see no problem with
You
it.
know, you need another week, you've got to give a week's notice for a planning committee meeting. The chop date's the 9th of October, it's the 1st of October on Wednesday. So you're looking at the 8th of October before you have a planning committee meeting. And the planning committee can only recommend the full council, the ones who give a decision.
Well, I think that's the way we should go, actually.
This is the original proposal. There's nothing on there to say that they've increased it again at all.
I don't see the point in trying to defer this on. Yes, I do think it's annoying personally that the ridge height being increased yet again, but I don't think it falls as a material planning consideration, given it is not affecting any property nearby.
Well, the property it does affect is Kevin Francis' place.
Not yeah, from a view concern, but not as a.
Chairman, and that one, it says no different in ridge height. It says the original application had a,
Stands.
yeah, stands. So there is no, so far as I'm concerned, reading that, there is no,
Providing that drawing is
no,
accurate.
no additional, no.
Providing that
There is
drawing
no
is
additional.
accurate. There's one other issue on this.
Can I just finish, please? The only thing I disagree with slightly is proceeding and digging out before the application was actually granted. So, but that's
Well,
my
this
personal,
is, yeah, and I agree.
my personal opinion.
But
But apart from that, I can see no problems with
a
that.
wall had been taken down and a driveway made without permission.
That was,
That, I believe, is illegal.
but
Would the clerk like to follow that up with planning and see where we go with that?
But that will be rectified on that planning application, by retrospectively.
Before that plan was put in, the wall was torn down. It shouldn't have been.
You could argue,
Yeah.
you could put 15-storey building there and just think, oh, well, don't matter, we'll get a representing plan permission. It's a bit naughty, isn't it?
Yeah,
But you can.
completely out of order. Not just a bit.
You can, yeah.
To me,
It may,
you've got professional architects sat in their offices doing up these drawings. They know the full planning regulations better than anybody else. And this is the way they carry out presenting documents. I think it's not good enough.
Yeah, but they just let them build what they want. That's
You know, we are in a conservation area. We are trying to build a parish plan, construct a reasonable village, and save the conservation area.
But he has extant permission.
Yeah, but he's got the permission to do.
It's already been approved,
It's
so
already been
at the end of the
approved,
day, they just ask for an
You know, it's just such an example that anybody in Bolroyd now can take a look at that, alter a building, say they want to build up Chapel Lane. Now, if the owner of the garden at Chapel Lane wishes to go ahead with that house, she could just demolish that wall up Chapel Lane, and then knowing that we're presented with a Fata company, that they can go ahead and do it.
They might not get permission. He has an extant
We can only
permission.
recommend what we can recommend, John, and it will go to the full council. So, it's,
Can I ask a question? Was as part of the extant permission to take down the wall?
No,
No.
I didn't know.
That's a change.
That's changed.
That's
And it
one
was
of the
done
changes.
before the addendum was submitted.
that is the change, part of the change in that application. So, standing area.
Well, take the parking issue then. Yes, it's frustrating as it happened and it's a retrospective planning application, but equally, in the long run, that's parking, off-road parking,
It's a premium.
which is in this place is a good thing. So looking beyond, yes, having to have retrospective planning permission does make you feel a bit uneasy, but
It's allowed.
it's allowed, and ultimately it is enhancing the whole property and the look of it. It's not detracting from it at all.
No, that's true.
The only thing that does gripe on me is the increase in ridge, but
It's already been approved.
it's a personal gripe. It's not a material planning consideration, so I don't think there's any grounds for us to have an objection to this planning application.
Okay. Anybody else got a view? How can we take a view then? Take a vote. Accept it.
I propose that it's supported.
Abstain.
Reject it.
Reject on the grounds that professional architects should know better. It's just playing the rules. It's just pure
That's
gamesmanship.
not a material.
I know it's not material, but I think it's just pure and utter gamesmanship being bounced into making a decision.
Okay, so where do we stand now? We've got 3-4.
Or
Yeah,
three of us have approved it.
Yeah.
And
We've
it's
got
One's against and one's abstained.
and 2 against.
It's Bill's.
4 approved.
4.
4
approved.
Who approved?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry? I thought you cast in blood.
It's not
4,
casting
now
the
there's
No.
4.
I'm against.
4-2.
Right. On 8, we have standing orders update. Proposal to add new standing order, refilming and recording of meetings. Ian?
I've sent this is a requirement that with freedom of information that this is now possible, and we obviously have an example of it happening as we conduct this meeting. We need to change our standing order to ensure that this is allowable, and this is the proposal. You've all had a copy of it, which outlines exactly why we're doing this and what we're able to do. And I've got an addition on standing orders 1Y. There's a long list in the standing orders, and this is the last one. There are guidelines as well, and I believe that these should go on the website, and there is also a notice to be displayed at all meetings of the council, its committee and subcommittees, and that will be up at each of the meetings, although I'm also considering putting it at the bottom of the agenda as well, which would be ensure that everybody has got knowledge of that.
Right, okay.
So really this is to say, do we adopt this into standing orders, which we have to do.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Done. Right, now we've got a freedom of information policy. The proposals we've got the Lanteglos Parish Council FY policy. Ian, do you want to know that one?
Yeah, this is, it came up in the May meeting, I believe. Apologies, it's taken a bit of time to get to where we are. I did a draft in June and then didn't include it in the agenda. It's a standard freedom of information document, and I've just added, came from Calc, I think, and I've added Lanteglos by Forward Parish Council to it. It says what we have to do, and this should be on the website as well. It talks about exemptions, complaints, further help, written requests, fees, and the proposal is that that is adopted.
No, I propose.
Yep. Okay.
I was going to just ask, so this is to adopt as our own personal policy.
Yes.
Would we be straying too far from the guidelines if we imposed a fee for every application? Can we? So if somebody wants to make a freedom of information request, it's going to cost them a tenner to start with, and any further
I'm not sure on that.
any further information.
I think that if you look at what it's saying here is that we can ask for
Review.
reasonable fees for photocopies, etc. And if we believe that the request is going to cost more than £450, then we are able to charge an hourly rate for the investigation and the documentation. So for the start of it, it is only that we can charge if we've got any photocopying costs, and the 450 is in fact within a year. So within a 12-month period, if the charges are likely to be more than £450, then we can add on top of the disbursement costs.
Well, just 1 minute. Can I just come in here? How many hours do you spend processing each?
It depends.
Depends, of course, but average, couple of hours?
I can't say what the average is because there is no average.
Supposing it costs a couple of hours of your time, which we have to pay for.
That's
We
right.
haven't got a
We're
budget.
talking about an application costing us £25.
At least
Yes.
at the time.
So should the charges we impose should really reflect that.
No, you can't, as I say, you can't charge unless you believe it's more than, for time, unless it's more than £450.
Okay.
I suppose there needs to be a bit of common sense here, because if somebody's asking for information that's on the minutes, you just defer them back to the website where it all is. But then when it's getting into more personal stuff and correspondence and accounts, which although it is all public, like this year's accounts aren't public until after the April, when's that? In May, isn't it? It all becomes
It's May, but it's around May, and then
yeah, so if so, because the thing is as well, even if, like recently then, somebody's trying to summon you to a meeting to show you everything, that's not actually, that's costing us, because we've got to pay you to take time out of your day,
that's part of
or time,
But that's part of the cost of a clerk, is that they have to respond to those requests. So unfortunately, that is what. And if 700 of our voters said they all wanted a piece of information, then you would have to respond to that. So you can't not, you can't budget for it. It's just one of those things.
But is there a charge for this service?
There's a charge if over a 12-month period you can start charging for hours if it's over £450. Otherwise, it's just
So
personal
under
costs.
that, it's
Under that is part of.
Is that just that one
Because
request gets to 450?
No, it's over a 12-month period.
because in the past it has been charged for, hasn't it?
I can't say what happened in the past.
We need to check because I think it has actually.
But it doesn't matter if it has been in the past. This is what we're
This is-
accepting, and this is what we should.
Right, okay.
No, right, fine.
Yeah. Well, I propose that we accept it for now, and then when the review of all the documents happens in 6 months' time,
It comes at
We
the.
need to change
I
it.
think we need, if we can start charging, if a bit of artistic license on
Okay.
we look into it, but for now, the policy will be adequate.
Can we take a vote on that then, please? Accept?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
What was that one?
Okay, environmental and amenity matters. The Quay and St Saviour's toilets, winter opening, including a proposal to amend winter closing hours.
There's an update which is on the quay. I've just written to the Town Trust as I have managed to get some costs, although they're not exact. There are some costs, so hopefully hear from them soon. Taken a long time. St Saviour's WC. And the other thing about the quay is that the date for winter opening is the 1st of October, so it will be closing on the 1st of October.
Wednesday.
What, the whole of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the toilets on the
All the toilets on the quay.
Um,
Until we can secure opening of the disabled toilet.
and with St Saviour's, when that goes to winter closing as well, we will have a process to ensure that we don't lose any more money from leaks. So that there'll be a mechanism to ensure that it's checked.
Could we call in South West Water there with that leak? Because periodically you see the South West Water official who goes round with a listening stick, and he listens to all the pipe works. So he can quite happily with his listening rod check the whole of that pipe work underneath the toilets. He just puts a pipe sound device on the pipe, and it tells if it's leaking.
I can ask. I can only ask, can't I?
Yes.
They won't usually do it on private property, they'll only do it on their own property. Or
Outside of the
outside of your property, then put it that way, into the road. And anything up to your property, to the stopcock is down to you.
But then again, you can still listen to it to see if there is a leak flying.
I'll ask the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the proposal there was about, Fran has asked that instead of opening until 8 o'clock in the evening during the winter, that it goes to 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll propose that, yeah.
That's
Okay,
Yeah.
Lanteglos.
Yeah. I was about to go back to the key. Is there anything we can do to alleviate them closing the whole issue on them? Because at the moment, the amount of people that are around is incredible. And that facility taken away on the quay, you go to the weekends now and Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, the place is absolutely buzzing.
I'd like to see it open to the end of
Well,
October.
it's a crazy situation closing it.
You would have to pay for it.
Could you get us a quick cost of how much we'd have to pay, please? So if we
I thought you asked that question,
I said to
John.
John, as we'd only just been notified that it was closing, that whether he could keep it open until the 31st, and that was a no-go completely. But the cost, just from memory, is well, for a month, it's going to be
One set of wages, rates.
just
Is it
cleaning's 200, so it's probably going to cost 350.
250
350. Just off the top of my
Per
head.
month?
Is that for
Cleaning
the 3 toilets or just
The
the
two.
one?
One
As we do
One.
just the disabled?
Yeah.
Because we just do the disabled in the winter, which, touch wood up to now, has been adequate and has given people at least a toilet to use.
The only problem with us saying yes, if we want to do that, there's the cost, but also there's no basin there.
Well,
that's
that would have to be,
Has it been done?
Well, it's being done.
well,
So it's
It's
been done.
confirmed that it would be done.
hmm.
I've just texted John Jones to ask him how much.
Does the disabled have a lock on it that only disabled people have the key
No,
to?
we did away with that.
We did away with that. That's
You know, I'd like to think we're people who are toilet trained. But obviously certain officials in Cornwall County Council aren't. And as Vic says, in this month and half term we would have numerous visitors on the quay. Not to have an open functioning toilet, I think it's disgusting.
Well, we worked for years to extend the season
That's
to
right,
June,
yeah.
October.
This is £196 million
It's all
coming home
cost.
to roost. And you're not the only one, so everybody was issued the same letter. I've got emails there for Treath's in a special case, Polseth a special case, Praise are a special. They're all saying the same, but we're £450,000 adrift on this year on the budget, let alone what's coming from next year.
But
It's tough, I understand, but the budget does not match what the service
also
that we
with-
can give.
Even though there's public transport as such being the ferry,
It makes no
it doesn't make
difference.
any difference at all.
And
You
even
can-
though you are also spending loads of money promoting Cornwall as a tourist centre.
But if you haven't got the money to do it, how do you do it?
Well, taking it the tourist centre pocket.
Yeah.
They want the tourists in, they got to
We've
put.
cut the entire Visit Cornwall budget as well, so that's not, this is what, £196 million?
In that case, if it's only £500, I'd propose we allot £500 from our budget to keep that toilet open for the month.
Yeah. You said 350.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Extraordinary payment.
Can't do it.
No, can't do.
It's finding out who else is living.
resolution to do that.
You run
It needs to be on the
Once
agenda.
again, there's still no who owns the bloody thing.
I can put it on the agenda for next time.
Put it on the agenda for next time.
The
The toilets be closed.
The toilets be shut.
But then, yeah.
Everywhere will be overloaded.
I'll make it,
So
sorry.
delegated
Well,
authority for the chairman.
I was going to suggest, yes, is it worth an extraordinary meeting regarding the key toilets in the next couple of weeks? Because you've already wrote to the Town Trust, they meet next Friday, so by the following week we would have a response as to what the Town Trust's opinion is on this all. And then if, yes, we'll just have to accept the toilet's going to be closed for a month, but at least then, as of the 1st of November, the disabled could possibly be opened again. We'll just have to accept, because otherwise, if we defer it till the end of October meeting,
Yeah, there's a number.
We keep going backwards
you
and
know, it
backwards.
could, you know, especially if it ends up as a letter writing exercise between the parish council and the town trust.
Can I make a suggestion? That maybe someone puts a notice on the outside of the toilet saying there is a toilet at the top of the hill, which is open. At least if they're desperate they can get there. It's better than anything else. I mean, that's not going to cost very much money. It's a laminated copy.
You're going to bring in the elderly.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
You know, it's not just one set of people we're going to.
Yeah, but I think the situation is it's going to get worse. It's going to be shutting toilets all over Cornwall. So
It's
That's true. That's true.
For
You go to
centuries
France
they've
on
had
the
that
toilet.
toilet.
Sorry.
For centuries.
Of course, going back to my proposal then, is that, you know, the week beginning the 6th of October, could I propose an extraordinary meeting to discuss the key toilets?
Yeah.
And at least then, if we have to move budgets around, we can do that.
We can sort it out, yeah. Can we have a proposal, a
Is
second?
Monday the 6th acceptable?
Okay,
I'll say it. Yeah, well,
yeah,
whatever.
okay, proposed,
It's a summer, it's
accepted by Vic.
And possibly, although we should have a written response from the town trust, invite them.
But are they likely to write back that quickly?
I'm sure they will.
There's no reason why the town trust couldn't be invited to attend the meeting next
Yes.
month.
Well, maybe that's a suggestion, get everybody together in the village.
or a representative.
Okay. Sorted with that one now?
Sorry.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to Lanteglos in Bloom.
Yes, we passed the motion.
Yes,
I've heard of all.
things are progressing at long last. We had more people at the last meeting. Did you all receive the letter, by the way? Did you forward that to everyone? Because I didn't print a copy. Oh, you got a copy in front of you anyway. You didn't want to see it. I'll be leaving for that part of the meeting. To get things going, to make us more visible, our proposal at this moment in time is if we can use Brendan Green. I have an old boat that can be planted. Topsoil and everything is readily available from Bowman's Meadow to fill it up, and the plants are all free, so as quickly as possible have something there so we can advertise ourselves is the plan, and then at the next meeting on the 13th of October, where we have our, which we're calling the inaugural meeting. We've had 3 meetings now, but we've not formally set up the committee so we can have the bank accounts and go chasing money from people and fundraising. That can be put in place as quickly as possible. That's our free bit of advertising for ourselves, and then we'll start chasing other areas within the parish, writing to the town trust to do other things. Another thing that we are interested in doing, and it's like other parishes have been doing, is the clean-up. All the, take behind the village hall steps down Tinker's Hill there, never get swept, although they should be, so a community initiative will go down. I believe, Edwina, there's a truck trailer that can arrive with brooms and everything in it.
Yes.
So,
And insurance cover.
so
Template for a risk assessment to help you.
So things are starting to progress in the right direction. Our next meeting is on the 13th of October, where we'll do all the boring stuff. But yes, there is interest, and it's not. Oh, one thing that did come out is it's not just about planting up your own garden, and you don't have to be particularly good at gardening. It is to doing clean up, planting and stuff in the community.
And that doesn't cost.
It will, well, there will be a
I mean, we close the toilets, but we plant some pretty flowers.
I see your point.
Well, let's rival the compost.
This first bit comes at no cost.
Yeah.
In future, we're going to have to start doing our own fundraising, but this I'm asking for, which I'll leave for in a minute, is coming at no cost to anyone. I'm supplying the boat, and the contents
Yeah.
are free, and if the parish council would be kind enough to donate the land for it to sit on. But, oh, there was one other thing. We changed the name from Lanteglos in Bloom to Lanteglos Bloomers. So I'll wait for this bit while you discuss the letter.
Yeah, Adrian, choice of word in there. You said donate the land. You can't donate the
Not
land.
donate, yeah,
We loan the land.
allow us to use it.
Yes.
We maintain it, but yes.
Allow access. Access to it.
Okay, right, we all know what Adrian had to say. Can we go straight into a vote on this one? There's much discussion needed. Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be a good idea, right?
Yeah. Ed?
Yeah, good idea. That.
John?
Anything to brighten the place up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can we take the
Me
vote?
to propose it?
Yes.
I'll propose it if you want.
Right, okay.
Second.
All right, done. Right, that's okay. Next one. I, which is Lanteglos Highway Speed and Safety Update and proposal to improve road sign.
Nice flower bed.
We were asked to look at the speed in Lanteglos Highway, and did that with Chairman and Dave as the policeman, PCSO, and Adrian Drake from Highways. And we had a meeting actually on site, and although we've booked another speed survey, it was quite noticeable that, and I think some of us have already experienced that when we're pulling out from Lerrin, the Lerrin Road, it's actually, your view is quite blocked. And that's because the car's being parked on the verge, and also a road sign which is rather low for some reason, I don't know. So with the speed survey to follow at some stage, we were also looking at what other measures we could do on the safety side, considering it is a 60 mile per hour speed limit through there. So we took it upon ourselves with Highways and the police to issue a letter to all residents of Lanteglos Highway, just asking for some consideration on that corner, and I'm very impressed that the residents have responded very well and have moved their cars back, so it's a much easier place to pull out from. There's no line of sight is complete. Except there's one last bit, which is there's a road sign which sits about, I don't know, what's that, 4.5 foot high, which actually can block your view if you're in a slightly higher vehicle. And I did have a word with Adrian Drake, and he said, well, you could put a new sign in there at some extortionate cost, which we clearly don't have. But they're actually, I thought they were not standard signage, but in actual fact they're the same as everywhere else in Lanteglos and further afield. So I haven't investigated exactly how much it would cost, but to put a new post on it can't be that expensive, which would raise it higher than it currently is to a standard signpost height.
We'd have to do that, wouldn't we? We have to pay someone to do it as well.
We'd have to pay someone to do it. I don't know what the process is or how to go about it, but I don't really want to start making inquiries if the councillors are not happy for me to proceed on that.
Perhaps, do you think we can take advice from Edwina on that one?
I think Highways will want to do it themselves and recharge you because they have responsibilities under the Highways Act to make sure it's right. I'm not saying you wouldn't do it right, but you're not authorised to do it.
If it fell over.
It fell over, or it wasn't put up correctly, or you
And
probably
normally-
you don't want to go there, I don't know.
And normally they have 6 men there, one working
And-
and what
And
five
one to
was
make
it?
a team.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk to
Adrian
Adrian.
Drake, I think, is the
Okay.
best person.
Yeah, that's fine.
What was the extortionate figure mentioned there?
I think it's about £2,000.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And we can't afford to open a toilet for a month, eh?
Delay that.
He said it was impressive to look at. I said, yeah, it would be. I just proved it.
Go back to another wooden sign?
No, I think it would be very similar to what you want to do with benches. Get some plastic.
Surely a contractor with a street work certificate could go and put that in, surely. You wouldn't have to have-
Highways on it.
Yeah, same thing, you know. Like, if you've got a streets work
Yes,
You
certificate.
can
They
do the
could,
work.
but they would have to be checked out and overseen by Cormac as a highways authority.
And highways would have to come and inspect it and bill you for that.
Well,
Lay that.
Putting in basket.
Yeah,
I need
could we,
I can investigate.
Do you think it's
Just investigate,
an
that's a
accident
good
waiting to
idea.
happen, because it hasn't happened yet? There's-
I think there's quite a few near misses.
yeah,
That's what we
it
were
is
told.
in a dangerous place. Okay, can we defer that and investigate?
We'd like me to investigate it.
If you can get the figure to a reasonable price, yeah. If not, we need to see it again.
Somebody's knocking at us. Anyone comment on that subject? No? Okay, let's move on. Correspondence and documents received. Ian, have you got anything?
Pat had a letter from the Reverend Courtney thanking the parish council for the generous grant of £800 for the repair and refurbishment of the paths in the churchyard. It has been completed, and she says it makes a lot of difference, and they've had a lot of favourable comments.
Okay.
We did that earlier in the year.
Correct.
Did she say a prayer for us?
She said it all the time. Also, have had a letter or an email from Chasewater Parish Council saying that they were unhappy. There's a number of them of councils that are unhappy with Cornwall Council, and they had a meeting recently with 30 parish and town councils. We didn't go, and just to be aware that there is, should we say, a movement that they're not happy with Cornwall Council, and there is a vote that I think 80% of those councillors were not happy with a number of areas, and they are drawing a letter up to write direct to Cornwall Council, which they will circulate, I'm sure, but we have not been involved in that at the moment.
I heard 15 went on Saturday.
Oh, did you? That's interesting.
My spies in the camp.
Oh.
I'm not saying they haven't got some legitimate gripes, and we do need to address something, but we need to do that together rather than...
I'm sure it'll be treated the same as that 10-year-old boy with his library's petition.
Yeah.
Okay, just so that you're aware of
Well,
that.
that's in this week.
Right. Done on that one?
Yep.
Right. Information only, future agenda items. Anything, Ian? No, nothing? Anything?
No.
No, right. Okay, that's it. Meeting closed. Time